What should I be doing with my money right now? This is what is on everybody's mind because is it a good time to buy a house? Are the interest rates too high? Should I jump into the markets right now? Like we just hit all-time highs with Bitcoin, with the market, S&P 500, everything. Donald Trump just got elected for a second term. This is his final term. He can only have two, so he's going to do exactly what he wants. What direction is he going to push the United States into? Is it going to be let's pay off the deficit, or is it going to be let's balloon it up, let's make more money, let's unleash the American machine out and start growing as much as we can, start getting as much money as we can, start opening up everything you possibly can. This is what is on everybody's mind. But right now, the only thing that everyone has seen is the big jump. Bitcoin hitting 100K. That's what is on everybody's mind. Earlier, it was 20,000. Now it's 100,000. That is wild. So again, you must look at your own finances and see what kind of backing you have. Do you have enough money to buy a house? Is it the best time? Like with the interest rates being just under 7 right now, it's not bad, but you have to think, is is this just the inflated numbers, and is it all going to change? Before, when I was talking about Trump, there are two ways that the United States can start healing from all the damage that it's had, right? It is either paying off the deficit, stop spending a ton of money and give that back and start getting more jobs for America. And then there's also just balloon it up. So I want you to think about it like this. If you owe $30,000 worth of credit card debt, right? That's a lot. So you can do two things. You can pay off the 30 grand, or you can make a ton more money. Because if you're making 100,000 or $200,000 a year, that 30 grand doesn't mean much. So that's what America has to think with the what $35 trillion that we owe, the deficit that we have. It's either do we start slowly like paying that off, or do we just start making a ton of money? And that's what I was talking about with the regulations. So deregulating things will cause stock prices to go up and will cause more people to start getting more money, which is not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing, but is it sustainable and will it work? That's what you have to think of when you start doing these investments. Because what I was looking at earlier was different kind of stocks. Because people are like, "Oh, what kind of stocks should I jump into? Should I sell my crypto because it's high? Should I sell my stocks because they're high because everything's going to go down?" And it's like I've done a lot of trading and I've done a lot of investing, and personally, I am never going to sell anything ever again. I know that's not what everybody's plan is, but that's my personal plan. So for me, I'm not one of these people that I'm like, oh man, should I buy something right now? Because I already have money in the game. When you have 20, 30, 50, $100,000 in the stock market, right now at this time, you're sitting there just like counting your money because like your number's going up. So that's fine. If I didn't have anything invested, I'd be like, oh man, I want to get into it. And that's what that FOMO and this hype, that's what you have to watch out for. So the easiest thing to do is dollar cost average into whatever you want. But of course, do your research, right? And it's like if you want to be safe, then the S&P 500 is not a bad deal because um real quick, the S&P 500 in the last 5 years has gone up 90%, right? And you're like, "Wow, 90%." You're either thinking that's a ton or it's like not much at all, depending on what you know about stocks and how prices are. But let's go ahead and go up. So I've gone over a couple stocks on this channel, right? I've gone over Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, and Palantir in that order. We're going to go through it. So first we have Amazon. Amazon, let's see if I can screen share. So Amazon right here, boom. $226. It has gone up 156%. That is pretty crazy. And the analysis is a strong buy. It's a strong buy. I mean, it's kind of crazy because right now everything seems like it's so good because of what I was talking about before. Like we are in this boom bust, like right there. Like what is going to happen, right? So the next stock we have is Microsoft. Microsoft is up 188% in the past 5 years. And I'm saying 5 years because if you're not investing, it does not matter what you buy into. If you're just trading, go ahead. I'm not a trader. I don't trade. But if you want to trade, then go ahead, find anything and just trade. I'm talking about like actually investing for a 5 year span, consistently making money, investing. That's what I'm talking about. So if you don't care about that, then that's cool. I'm talking about 5 years. 5 years is a solid timeline that you could actually see some growth. So it has went up $291, 188%. So then, and we're talking about Microsoft and Amazon right now. Like everybody watching this video has bought something off Amazon, and you've used a Microsoft product. So those two companies are huge, and they're pretty freaking safe. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the next one, which is Apple, 285% in the last 5 years, up $177. So I'm putting the dollars there just in case you see it. And I have to preface this again because most of you just don't know because you don't understand how investments work is that $246 is not how much it's went up and the 177 is not. The percentage is correct. But remember stock splits. And that's all I'm going to say because I'm not going to go into stock splits. But that 246, that's not the price of one Apple stock. Okay. Just know that it's gone up from the investment 5 years ago, it's gone up 258%. So if you put, say, $200 in there, it's gone up almost 3 times. Okay. So next we have the crazy one, which is ridiculous, is Tesla. It is up 1,500%, 1,500%. That is crazy. All right. So 1,500%. That is wild. That is so wild. It's even crazy to, yeah, every single time I see that number, it's amazing. See, that is crazy. And it's at a hold. It is at a hold at $389. It's at a hold. Wow. And then next we have my crown jewel right here is Palantir. Palantir is up 687%. So looking at all those investments, I would like personally, I would not buy into any of these stocks right now. But that's just me because I already have skin in the game. I can sit there and I have a price point for all of these stocks that I bought. Okay. So I'm just sitting here looking at all these green. It's all green, right? It's all good. But I would never think of going back to Palantir buying it at $70. That's wild. So just um let's see, just earlier last year it was at $20. So, you have to be able to think about this in the long term, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. It's like, do you think this is going to go down 50% or up 50%? And that's just like where you have to be in. Tesla just this year was down at $100. It went below $100, and now it's touching 400. Would I buy right now? Hell no. Why? Like that doesn't make any sense. But people are doing it. And it's okay because like, oh, it's gonna boom, it's gonna boom. Cool, it's gonna boom. Would you bet on it going to 200 or to 600? And then if you're wrong, do you ever think it's gonna hit 200 again? Maybe, maybe not. You think it's gonna hit 300 again? That's what you have to ask yourself when you're talking about when you're going to invest, especially into stocks. Now, crypto's it is a different beast, but it's the same thing. It's like why would I not buy it now or buy it at 20, like talking about Bitcoin at $100,000 or $20,000 when it was. It's like how are you talking about it when it was 20,000? Where you're like, "Oh man, I should buy this. It's going to go up." Like just think about what your mindset was when it was that low. And is it the same? Like you have to keep that energy. Like that's what you have to think about with investing. So the easiest thing that you could do is figure out your own personal finances, see how much you can actually invest, and then maybe put 25% of that in and sit on the sideline with the rest of it and just wait for a good price point. And how do you know what a good price point is? Research. Figure out what you think the company is worth. You buy it at what you think the company is worth. That's what I would do. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Same thing with Bitcoin. So the only thing with crypto is we don't know how much this is worth. So with that, just dollar cost average. That's the only thing I know with that. Like crypto is such a new thing that and I only hold 10%. So whatever I have in my total investments, I hold 10% in crypto. And it's just dollar cost average. I don't think too much into it. I don't go too much into it. Just dollar cost average. What you want, you had to find out what your percentage is with the portfolio you want to create. And then the biggest one is housing. Like housing is what should be on like the very first thing. If you don't have a house, I wouldn't like you can invest. Like that's great. Invest, that's awesome. Invest into something safe until you have a house. Because if you lose it all, you're wasting more time. Because if you're renting, you're wasting time, especially depending on your age. I would say past 26 years old, if you're renting, you are wasting your time. Doesn't matter what the interest rate is. I don't care what the interest rate is. It does not matter what the interest rate is. Interest rates are like, it does not matter. You're still paying the money. You're still losing money. Like when people are like, oh yeah, I'm not going to buy a house. The interest rate's too high. It's like, could you buy a house if the interest rate was 2 points below? If it was sitting at at 5% right now, would you buy? And like instantly, would you buy? And if you had to think about it, then you're wrong. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. Buy a house. Save the money to buy a house. Um, Go ahead and apply for a loan. If you haven't applied for a loan, then you can't even talk about houses. It's very simple. So that's an easy snapshot of what you should be doing with investing. Figuring out what you want to invest in, the price point, and your housing. There you go. That's it. Simple as that. And it's so funny that I'm so happy about Palantir and Tesla and Amazon and Microsoft and Apple. Like they're all doing so well, and it's so funny that even just like like a nobody can make um predictions about companies because these are solid companies. People are like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna invest into Apple. You're talking about Apple, like it owns 50%. No, it owns like I would say 60% of the market. And you say that you don't want to invest in that? It's crazy. It's crazy. So, and one last thing is whatever you're interested in, that is one of the easiest things to start investing in because you understand it. If you understand the industry, invest in it. If you're like a fashion dude, invest into like Nike. Nike's like super like it had some stuff going on. If you're like a car guy, invest into car stuff. Like invest into what you know. It makes it simple. Like the big stuff, yeah. I mean, of course, know the big stuff, but invest into what you know and get your housing down. Very, very simple. And then the more that you invest in, like slow increments over a long time, will make things very, very simple, and you'll understand how it goes. Once you start putting money in, you see the red and the green. See the money go up, you see the money go down. Then you'll start understanding, and it'll start being real to you.